Beneath the sunlit plains of Cappadocia lies a world unknown to the surface, an underworld carved from volcanic rock, enigmatic and silent. In 1963, what began as a simple home renovation in a Turkish basement unravelled a sprawling subterranean city, concealed for centuries. Imagine standing in a darkened tunnel where whispers of past lives linger, where the air is sweet with the scent of ancient stone. Here kitchens sizzle, schools echo with lessons, and chapels offer refuge. All hidden beneath the bare feet of those above. Follow the winding pathways as the stone tells its story, a testament to survival against a timeless foe, human fear. Imagine, if you will, peeling back the layers of history to uncover a world buried deep beneath the earth, a world where secrets lay dormant for centuries. In the quiet town of Derinkuyu, Turkey, a man embarked on an innocuous home improvement project in 1963, only to stumble upon an ancient enigma. What should have been a routine basement renovation turned into a doorway to the past. As he knocked down the cellar wall, dust and anticipation cloaked the air, revealing an unexpected portal leading into the bowels of the earth. This singular discovery became a stepping stone into a subterranean maze that defied ordinary explanations, inviting both wonder and scholarly pursuit. News of this excavation spread like wildfire, attracting experts and curious locals alike. Archaeologists armed with the precision of scientific tools and the intuition of seasoned explorers unearthed passageways that hinted at a vast underground civilization. The air whispered tales of ancient resilience as stables, kitchens, chapels, and an entire hidden metropolis emerged from obscurity beneath layers of volcanic tuff. This was no mere hideout, it was a meticulously crafted sanctuary, a city capable of housing thousands, whose stories had been silenced by time. As excavations continued, the grandeur of Derinkuyu's underground city unfolded, revealing the ingenuity of its creators. Descending more than 60 meters below the surface, the complex spanned multiple levels interconnected by spiraling staircases and meandering passageways, deliberately designed to baffle any intruders. Here, fear of invasion fueled architectural audacity, as layers spoke of an enduring necessity to escape marauding forces above. Life beneath the surface pulsed with vitality, even in this hidden realm. Kitchens replete with soot-stained hearths hinted at bustling culinary activity, while vats for fermentation suggested that winemaking persisted despite isolation. Close by, stone benches filled cavernous schoolrooms where students gathered, bringing learning and laughter to the shadows. This society had carved out not merely a refuge, but a functioning community, adapting to constraints with a resilience that still echoes in the stone. The porous rock of Cappadocia wasn't merely a geological feature, but the lifeblood of these subterranean dwellers' existence. The spaces were more than just shelter. They were the very heart of a community that thrived in adversity. Livelihoods were forged here in these depths, where craftsmanship flourished in sync with the conditions and resources the earth provided. Hollowed rooms buzzed with artisans chiselling away at metal and stone with rudimentary tools. At Derinkuyu, life sustained finely honed skills, leaving behind artifacts, tangible legacies of an ancient, enduring world. The ingenuity of Derinkuyu was not simply in its scale, but in the shrewd design that transformed shelter into a complex society. What started in the 8th century BCE as basic tunnels evolved over generations into multifaceted habitats, where each addition reflected a need to expand or improve. The city's depth and intricacy mirrored a society's understanding of its own growth, taking advantage of geographic and social changes to evolve under shifting pressures and threats above ground. Derinkuyu matured, shaping itself to accommodate a broader populace and, over time, integrated spaces for work, worship, and communal living. Each chamber was a testament to foresight and engineering ingenuity, a revolutionary concept in urban planning that evolved long before contemporary ideas, driven by necessity and shared hope. Venture further into the darkness, and you're met with the hum of an entire civilization beating to its own rhythm, fearlessly rooted in rock and ritual. Here in this sunless city, people woke to the aroma of lentils simmering on communal fires and the soft sound of children reciting lessons in shadowed schoolrooms. The society's rhythm mirrored life above but beat to a different drum, a symbiotic relationship in which the protective embrace of stone sheltered its denizens from the chaotic world beyond. These adaptations to survive underscored an unyielding quest for safety and longevity. Beneath the earth, artisans honed their craft. Above, potential threats loomed, sparking energy and invention into these tunnels. Stone doors weighing half a ton stood immovable unless turned from within, simple yet elegant in their design, barring entrances to anyone unwelcome. This intricate network of tunnels wasn't just a refuge, it was a masterclass in defensive architecture and spatial engineering, etched permanently into the volcanic tuff. War forged the need for these refuges, a necessity amidst the lands swept by incessant conflict. Empires battling for territory, with cycles as recurrent as the seasons. This turbulence fostered resilient engineering, a survivalist culture that fortified their underground labyrinth for prolonged isolation. Beneath the earth, they tuned strategies and crafted lives, turning fear into resilience. As centuries wore on, stability returned with shifting empires. Newer, sunlit fortifications rose above, signifying confidence in surface security. By the 11th and 12th centuries, underground cities were fading, yet their legacy endured in folklore. Memory's whispers speaking of ingenuity beneath Cappadocia's vistas. Dust settled, the honeycombed abode grew silent, yet their quiet strength remains as monuments to human tenacity and adaptability. Despite this decline, the underground's allure never fully waned. Derinkuyu's rebirth in 1963 reignited exploration and scholarship, breathing life into its stone whispers. With modern technology taking part, researchers chart these labyrinths, peeling back layers of history. Each discovery enriches our understanding, offering fresh glimpses into a world that chose to live beneath and beyond the Earth's surface. Derinkuyu remains an enfolding mystery, a timeless enigma nestled within miles of untouched tunnels, waiting to answer the questions of why and how. Even now, this subterranean legacy challenges us to consider our fears, our endurance, and the need to protect against a world ever capable of engulfing us in its chaotic tides. As researchers delve deeper, Derinkuyu continues to captivate, a silent testament to a lost world that thrived in the shadows, lighting a path through the stories etched in stone. The tale of Cappadocia is a story etched in stone, a realm where the earth itself plays both canvas and shelter. Millennia ago, volcanic forces birthed this landscape, leaving behind a tapestry of ash and lava that cooled into a soft but resilient rock known as tuff. Over centuries, wind and water sculpted the tuff into whimsical formations like fairy chimneys and rippling valleys, a scene so tranquil and picturesque that it's tempting to forget the secrets buried beneath. Yet, hidden under this serene facade are the sprawling underground cities of ancient Cappadocia, a testament to human ingenuity and survival. These subterranean marvels highlight the unique relationship between the people of Cappadocia and their environment. The tough, easily carved with simple tools, offered a perfect medium for creating expansive networks of tunnels that would become cities teeming with life. In a region often rocked by invasions and warfare, these underground fortresses provided refuge from surface threats. Their temperature remained stable, a welcome contrast to the harsh, ever-changing conditions above. Early Anatolian civilizations saw what the earth had left for them and seized the opportunity to build downwards. By the 8th century BCE, these early architects had begun transforming the natural caves into complex sanctuaries. For the Hittites, engaged in battles for supremacy during the Bronze Age, these subterranean networks became essential. Here were intricate labyrinths with living quarters, storerooms, and cunning defensive measures, proving that their creators had survival down to an art form. Tools of the time, made of obsidian, metal, and stone, complemented the tough softness, allowing ancient builders to carve with precision. Pickaxes, hammers, and chisels were basic but effective, and fire was ingeniously used to harden and crack rock surfaces, easing the carving process. Such methods not only sped up construction, but ensured the long-term stability of these underground marvels, a prehistoric engineering triumph that still amazes us today. Building downward wasn't some whimsical task, it was a strategy honed over generations. Each new level carved into the earth represented a careful calculation, an assessment of how best to meet the community's needs for safety and space. As populations swelled or as supplies needed storing, the solution was to dig deeper, creating a multi-layered refuge that minimised the surface footprint while maximising livable area. Narrow tunnels and tall ventilation shafts connected various levels, keeping air fresh and ensuring that life below ground was organised and sustainable. Such planning extended beyond survival. Above-ground societies are often seen through material wealth and status, but beneath the surface, it was depth that denoted status. Deeper levels served as sanctuaries in dire times. The clever use of stone doors, false corridors, and other defensive designs turned these underground havens into formidable fortresses. Unlike the imposing castles of the surface, bragging with battlements and moats, these cities could vanish instantly from prying invaders, a trick of invisibility woven with rock and darkness. But these storied depths weren't all fear and fortification, they were brimming with life. In these echoing halls, community thrived, from kitchens that produced warm meals to spaces for crafts and gatherings. The underground cities nurtured a vibrant daily life. Rituals continued unabated, with underground chapels and icons offering spiritual solace. The routines of daily life, cooking, worship, socialising, all took on a unique character in the shadowy, lantern-lit corridors. The architecture itself was a blend of necessity and art. Despite the challenges of living below ground, human creativity adorned these spaces with frescoes and motifs that spoke of life's more colourful aspect. Functional utility harmonised with aesthetic detail. Ventilation shafts were skillfully integrated into the design, bringing light and air into the depths with a thoughtful elegance. These details crafted an environment that was as comforting as it was awe-inspiring. Legends sprung up around these hidden worlds, myths perpetuated by storytellers around flickering fires in later years. Tales of vast underground chambers and mysterious vanishings captured imaginations, keeping the spirit of these ancient cities alive long after they were abandoned. Today, modern technologies like ground-penetrating radar and 3D mapping are revealing the secrets these cities still hold. Despite centuries of silence, each new discovery, a hidden passage, a forgotten artifact, adds another chapter to the story of survival and ingenuity. Now more than ever, Cappadocia's underground cities serve as a bridge between past and present. They remind us of a resilient legacy, of communities that bore witness to history's tumult, and chose instead to inscribe their story beneath the earth. As these ancient walls welcome curious visitors from around the world, they echo with the shared tales of survival, courage, and the unyielding human spirit, a timeless testament written not above, but below, in stone. In the labyrinthine depths of Cappadocia's underground cities, the faint smell of smoke mingled with the soft murmurs of community life, giving the tunnels a cosy familiarity despite their rugged terrain. For the ancient residents of places like Derinkuyu, life wasn't just about enduring a subterranean existence, it was about thriving in a hidden world carved into the earth's volcanic stone. Imagine stepping into a cavernous kitchen where the warm embrace of a central hearth beckoned as a gathering place for families. Here, stews simmered over clay ovens, and the scent of freshly baked bread wafted through the narrow passages, a testament to human adaptability and ingenuity. The volcanic tuff of the walls ingeniously absorbed and retained heat, ensuring meals were cooked with efficiency, despite the constraints of an underground cavern. Besides serving as a place to eat, these kitchens became hubs of community and storytelling, where the elders wove lessons into the fabric of daily life. In these confined spaces, the preparation and preservation of food were arts refined out of necessity. The Cappadocians understood the importance of stockpiling grains, planting storage chambers with ceramic jars to protect barley and wheat from spoilage. This planning was crucial during times of siege or harsh winters. The underground's cool, stable temperatures naturally preserved food. Archaeologists also found traces of pulses, nuts, and dried figs, revealing the breadth of these people's resourcefulness, a stark counterpoint to our modern perceptions of medieval life as simple or primitive. But life here was not just about survival. In a communal space filled with whispered echoes, a room equipped with stone benches accommodated around 50 students, offering education amidst the shadows. This schoolroom reflected a society that valued more than just daily sustenance. It embraced intellectual and cultural growth. Picture young minds bending over rudimentary scripts by flickering lamplight, learning not only academic skills, like arithmetic, but also absorbing oral traditions and beliefs that connected them to the broader world above. The flicker of lamplight also found its way into the sacred niches of these underground corridors. Spiritual needs were catered to with chapels intricately carved from rock, complete with altars and stone benches. Even amidst the threat of war or peril, the residents of these tunnel cities held tight to their faith. Their belief in a divine found expression in the shadows, where prayers echoed softly, lending solace in their perilous existence. Here the oil lamps cast a warm glow over rituals, transforming the mundane into moments of divine commune and reflection. Commerce, much like their spiritual lives, found a unique rhythm in these subterranean towns. In makeshift market spaces, residents exchanged goods from grains to fabric, relying on a barter economy to sustain their hidden lives. trade networks wove through connected communities, extending beyond rock walls to establish bonds with above-ground allies. The silent currency of goods flowing from hand to hand illustrated an economic foresight well beyond what one might expect from societies shrouded in rock. Central to these economies, and to the social framework, was wine. In the dim coolness of fermentation chambers, grapes were crushed in communal activity, bringing both sustenance and spirit. The underground temperatures were perfect for aging wine, their silent vats nurturing more than just grapes. The red nectar that emerged from these vats fueled social gatherings, from humble meals to grand celebrations, creating ties of friendship and shared stories that fermented like the wine itself. Yet, for all their achievements, the key to these cities' survival was an impressive network of ventilation shafts, ingeniously chiselled into the rock. Such marvels of engineering allowed precious oxygen to flow, sustaining all life below. These shafts also cleverly disguised their defensive role, alerting residents to intruders while primarily ensuring that air, not threat, circulated through the tunnels. The understanding of airflow and perhaps the use of natural air purifiers demonstrated a sophisticated grasp of environmental adaptation that kept these towns alive, physically and psychologically. Beneath all these physical manifestations of life lay another layer, a profound narrative, encapsulated in the traditions passed orally from one generation to the next. The stone bricks embraced these stories and songs, keeping the culture vibrant even in isolation. These narratives remained a cherished bridge to a shared past, whispered across time and etched into memory. Ultimately, as we wander through these spaces in our imagination, the echo of existence left by the Cappadocians challenges us. Their resilience and ingenuity speak across the centuries, urging us to rethink how we apply technology and resources today. The underground legacy they crafted wasn't just about survival, it was about crafting a life filled with richness and wonder, carved invisibly beneath a world that often misunderstood it. Standing at the threshold of these rock-hewn corridors, we find echoes not only of a storied past, but also of the hope and adaptability that define human potential, waiting patiently for us to listen and to learn. Cappadocia's underground cities are marvels of ancient engineering, where massive stone doors, resembling gigantic millstones, served as formidable guardians. These circular protectors, weighing up to 500 kilos, were crafted with remarkable precision. A single hole in their centre allowed for a wooden plank to slide through, offering a vantage point or manoeuvring aid without exposing the defenders to the outside world. In times of peril, these doors rolled into place effortlessly, securely locking from within. A remarkably straightforward yet effective first line of defence. These stone barriers didn't just block entry, they were strategic in controlling movement through the tunnels. Behind each door lay narrow corridors designed to force intruders to pass one by one, transforming these cramped passages into deadly traps for anyone unfamiliar with the labyrinthine paths. This blend of architectural prowess and simplicity underscores how the residents prioritise security, ready for sieges without external help. Crafting these stone doors required skill and determination. Artisans utilised the region's soft, volcanic tuff, a rock easy to shape but durable over time. Large circular blocks were hewn, then positioned strategically within the network's depths. Crafting involved chisels, wooden levers, and labour from a community united by survival. Moving these hefty stones involved clever techniques, possibly using lubricated rollers or carved rails to aid in transport. Over time, these methods evolved as each generation refined the skills necessary to construct these defensive masterpieces. The underground city's design extended beyond its entryways. Intricate mazes and deliberately narrowed corridors served a crucial defensive purpose. Far from random, this layout reflected an acute understanding of the psychological hurdles invaders faced. As enemies stumbled through claustrophobic passages, disoriented and disarmed by the darkness, defenders could target them from concealed vantage points. The labyrinth's complexity also served as a deterrent, frustrating prolonged siege efforts and causing fatigue among invaders. In this subterranean world, darkness was both an ally and a shield. These cities mastered the interplay between light and shadow. Residents relied on oil lamps and torches, their smoke blackening the rock over time. Familiar with each twist and turn, they moved silently, while intruders, desperate for illumination, were easily exposed. This tactical use of darkness was integral to the inhabitants' lifestyle and defense strategies. Communal areas vital for survival would be illuminated only until danger loomed, at which point shadows became the sentinels. Ventilation systems were a feat of ingenuity, carved inconspicuously to ensure a steady airflow during extended sieges. Deceptively simple, these shafts maintained crucial air circulation, vital for sustaining life amid smoke and thousands of exhalations. Not solely for comfort, these shafts doubled as listening posts, giving residents early warnings of approaching threats. This acoustic advantage turned every shaft into an alert mechanism, heightening their defensive edge. Deep within the tunnels lay communal spaces, protected by layers of stone and secrecy. Kitchens, storage rooms, and water facilities were strategically placed to guarantee resource access even in prolonged isolation, reinforcing the city's collective heart from invasions. These areas became arenas of communal solidarity, where survival intertwined with fellowship. Ever prepared for conflict, the inhabitants stored weapons within easy reach. Spears and projectiles transformed tight corridors into battlegrounds where residents trained in ambush tactics thrived. In this community, readiness was embedded in daily life, as young and old alike were prepared for every role a siege demanded. Tales of past heroics and folk legends not only inspired, but educated each generation, ensuring mental and physical preparedness. Concealed exits and hidden escape routes rounded out the defence network, offering lifelines in worst-case scenarios. These escape passages extended for miles, threading through the landscape to safety or other settlements. Reserved knowledge of their existence passed down through generations, allowed strategic retreats and surprised counterattacks, embodying a dynamic interplay between defence and cunning. The fearsome depth of Cappadocia's defences lay not just in stone, but in the psychological edge they held. The foreboding maze, with its echoes and shadows, was enough to seed trepidation in even the bravest intruders. The subterranean silence, occasionally disrupted by mysterious sounds, could disorient those unfamiliar with its vastness. Strategic deceptions, echoes, fake noises, the clang of invisible weapons, played tricks on invaders' minds, wielding fear as effectively as any weapon. These defence mechanisms stand as monuments to the resilience and ingenuity of Cappadocia's ancient people. Each stone and shadow whispered tales of a community fiercely dedicated to its survival. Today, as explorers delve into these caves, their legacy continues to inspire awe. They remind us of human tenacity, the lengths one will go to protect a way of life under threat. As we uncover these mysteries, the story of human adaptability unfolds. painting a portrait of survival nestled in the earth's embrace. In the shadowy corridors of time, the echoes of survival breathe life into the forgotten stories hidden beneath Cappadocia's rocky skin. Amidst the soft whispers of the past, we find the Hittites, craftsmen of civilization who, by the 7th century BCE, found themselves overshadowed by the ominous wings of the Assyrian Empire. The Assyrians, with their formidable army and relentless expansion, spread terror across the land like a storm cloud. Seeking refuge from this impending doom, the Hittites turned to the earth, carving intricate sanctuaries out of volcanic rock. These subterranean labyrinths became their bastion, a place where entire communities could vanish without a trace, leaving the Assyrian threat to wander above in futility. Within these hidden realms, the Hittites designed not mere hideouts, but thriving societies, complete with ventilation systems and water sources, able to support an extended stay below ground. Each chamber told tales of their desperation and brilliance, a microcosm where life continued under the oppressor's gaze. This transformation from vulnerable settlements to fortified refuges proved their paradoxical strength, concealed from the eye yet formidable in spirit. As you venture through the dusty passages of these underground cities today, you might sense whispers of their resilience lingering in every carved stone. In the subsequent centuries, as Christianity began to take root within the Roman Empire, another wave of fugitives found solace in Cappadocia's depths. Persecution flared as Rome's emperors viewed the new religion with suspicion, their ire manifest in waves of violence against believers. Here, in concealed sanctuaries cut from stone, early Christians could practice their faith beyond the reach of zealous eyes. Chapels with carved altars and secret baptistries bore witness to a hidden existence, intertwining survival with spirituality. It was as if the reverberating prayers left imprints on the stone, a testament to a faith nurtured in silence. As you might imagine, the construction of these underground labyrinths was no accidental feat, but a deliberate response to Cappadocia's geopolitical vulnerability. This land, nestled between major empires and crisscrossed by trade routes, was frequently caught in the crosshairs of conflict. From the Persians to Arab invaders, those who inhabited this precarious region understood that their land was both corridor and barrier, a place of peril and opportunity. Their solutions lay beneath their feet. By digging into the earth, they turned their porous home into a fortress, creating an underground defence network that made their terrain a formidable ally. Clever architecture played a significant role in their defence strategy. Mighty stone doors, movable only from within, guarded narrow entrances with the weight of centuries. These doors weren't just barriers, they were declarations of intent, a solemn reminder of a community's resolve to survive. Inside, the twisting passages and sudden dead ends mirrored the complexities of war, confusing those who sought to conquer, while offering strategic advantages to the defenders. Imagine, if you will, an intruder tiptoeing through the dimly lit corridors, only to find themselves ensnared in confounding twists, with echoes of the hidden defenders' readiness all around them. Imagine further a life where entire populations vanished below ground with the efficiency of a well-rehearsed play. These abrupt disappearances were precise acts, born from necessity, each evacuation planned with military precision. Pre-designated routes and roles ensured that, at the faintest tremor of danger, families could descend into the earth, slipping through the cracks of uncertainty like shadows. Food stores were prepped, and livestock guided into the depths, a process as seamless as the rolling shut of the massive stone doors. This adaptability was ingrained in their way of life, ensuring their survival against the tides of history. Yet after these hidden retreats, emerging back into the sunlight marked more than a physical return. It was a reawakening of daily life delayed. Fields awaited sowing, markets buzzed back to life, and social bonds strengthened in the resilience they represented. This cycle of hiding and revealing became a dance with shadows, each step a testament to a community's will to persist despite the forces against them. Their return to the surface world blended seamlessly with the rhythm of nature, reinforcing a narrative of survival intimately tied to the land's whims. In this dance lies the heart of Cappadocia's identity, a cultural tapestry woven with tales of resilience, whispered down generations, oral traditions shared over flickering fires or murmured in the embrace of the underground, carry the essence of this persistence. Legends of silent cities and vanishing folk intertwine with historical fact, creating a rich legacy that binds Cappadocia's people in shared memory. These stories, passed like heirlooms, preserve the spirit of a people whose endurance against adversity turns survival into a cultural expression, making history feel both strange and intimately familiar, an unending echo through time. Cappadocia's charm isn't confined to its otherworldly landscapes or its skyward fairy chimneys. Much lies beneath, where a hidden world stretches silently, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. This network of underground cities, numbering over 200, rests undiscovered by the common traveller. These hidden marvels, carved meticulously over centuries, link valleys and cities through intricate labyrinths, witnessing a drama of survival and cultural exchange. Places like Derinkuyu and Kaimakli stand as magnificent reminders of a history that thrived beneath Earth's view. These subterranean fortresses served not only as refuges and places of worship, but also as bustling hubs of commerce and craftsmanship, each operating autonomously, yet contributing to an invisible web of civilization. This unity wasn't merely practical, but a profound assertion of humanity's adaptive spirit. While many ancient cities flaunt robust stone walls as their strength, Cappadocia's defences were rooted in what they withheld from sight, a network of passageways ingeniously crafted to escape the notice of prying eyes. These tunnels, sometimes stretching 8 kilometres long, enabled quick movement across regions, crafted painstakingly by hand in volcanic tuff rock, the easy-to-carve but labour-intensive stone. The tunnels allowed for efficient relocation of entire communities during crises and facilitated vital resource distribution, ensuring life continued unbroken during times of siege. But it wasn't just about staying connected physically. These passageways enabled an exchange of commodities and ideas, cultures merging in the silent corridors. Tools, pottery, and inscriptions found within these tunnels narrate tales of life flourish through these subterranean bonds. Social gatherings, religious ceremonies, and educational activities enrich the underground culture, turning potential isolation into a vibrant tapestry of innovation and creativity. In this hidden embrace, the communities were as far from isolated as one could imagine. They stood united in a shared narrative, an essence of community knit tightly by necessity. The technological feats behind these tunnels are staggering. Armed with rudimentary tools, early engineers displayed tremendous skill, understanding both the importance of structural integrity and air circulation. Ventilation shafts ingeniously designed, disguised as surface wells, provided essential airflow, ensuring sustainable living even within the depths. This meticulous and strategic planning underscores an ancient wisdom. that saw art in architecture, incorporating utility with aesthetic in equal measure. A clear desire not merely for survival, but for a thriving existence below the earth. Take Kaimakli, a prime example of how these networks were more than mere hideaways. Today, partly open for exploration, it showcases an intricate living system. Vertical chimneys allowed air to circulate, supporting life within its dark confines. With livestock pens, wineries, and communal areas, it reveals a society finely attuned to the needs of communal living, amidst restraining security measures. Every corner whispering stories of a bygone era where human ingenuity met survival's call. Yet at their heart, these tunnels were defensive marvels. Perfectly designed for evasion, they bore witness to strategic retreats that turned terrain into a tactical ally. Inside these labyrinths, the residents were ready to endure long stretches of hiding, with caches of essentials safely tucked away. The engineering prowess that went into creating hard-to-navigate and easily barricaded entryways speaks volumes of the tactical planning that helped ancient Cappadocians turn retreat into a strategic move to preserve life and legacy. Living below ground, however, was no easy task. It required mastery to tackle unimaginable aspects like air quality, light, and even psychological well-being in such confined quarters. This need fostered communal spaces, designed to encourage interaction and maintain social cohesion during challenging times. The infrastructure, complete with designated cooking, educational, and worship areas, mirrors above-ground societal structures, suggesting a community adept at building resilience through collective effort and shared experience, where even under the weight of soil, life pulsated with energy and interaction. Cappadocia's tunnels also breathe legends and myths, swirling in the air of mystery that clings to their stone walls. Stories speak of hidden treasures, spectral apparitions, and spiritual nooks offering sanctuary, mixing historical fact with imaginative lore. These tales, passed down through generations, bind the present to the past, weaving a tapestry rich with the echoes of human resilience and eternal intrigue. They ensure that these subterranean networks, while profound archaeological treasures, remain steeped in cultural folklore. Modernity, surprisingly, still finds guidance in these achievements. Today's engineers study them with awe, seeking inspiration from ancient resourcefulness and sustainability. Despite our technological leaps, these networks offer timeless lessons on balancing necessity with inventiveness. As we push for sustainable solutions in a world constantly evolving, these hidden pathways teach us to look back, to learn from history's shadows. As more tunnels are unravelled, each discovery adds a brushstroke to the canvas of ancient life underfoot, emphasising Cappadocia's living legacy. This rediscovery is more than an archaeological pursuit. It opens doors to cultural insight, historical curiosity, and tourism. As we explore and preserve these depths, they continue to tell stories of collective endurance, wisdom, and survival. Forever a testament to an era where the past glimmers with intrigue beneath the Earth's weary surface. Amid the cool, damp corridors of Cappadocia's ancient underground cities, the challenge of breathing freely emerged as a frontier of creativity. Imagine it: intricate networks of ventilation disguised as innocuous wells, allowing fresh air to course through hollowed stone. These air passages, seemingly random to the untrained eye, were the lifelines that filled these subterranean depths with the aroma of earth, survival, and an odd touch of practicality. It's rather ingenious, isn't it? With diminished temperatures far below the surface, airflow wasn't merely a convenience, it was survival itself. The clever design harnessed natural forces, using convection to pull hot air out and usher cool air inward, ensuring the air stayed fresh even when the smoke of daily fires threatened to choke the passageways. Cooking in this underground realm was an art born of necessity. The kitchens buzzed with activity, their hearths deftly set into the stone floors, presenting warmth and nourishment. Their fires, fueled by whatever twigs and dried dung could be salvaged above, brought life and danger in equal measure. Survival depended on a Spartan diet of stored grains and legumes. The occasional fresh produce, a luxury carried in from the world above. There's a certain poetry to it, smoke-scarred pits narrating tales of culinary adaptation, where community and sustenance were inseparable, intertwined through a ritual dance of preparation. The communal impulse was profound. These gatherings formed a heart, pulsating with the rhythms of collective life amid the isolation. Yet to endure underground meant more than commanding stone and flame. Beneath the city of Derinkuyu lay a network of groundwater channels, transformed into a lifeblood for the hidden dwellers. Wells, some descending to unfathomable depths, tapped into aquifers to quench the thirst of thousands. Each sip bore the complexities of ancient hydroengineering and instinct, the mysterious yet functional alignment of geological know-how with sheer necessity. Drawing water became a practiced coordination, an act demanding care in the face of nature's fickle temperament, where utility and survival danced precariously on the edge of potential drought. While hidden from sight above, smoke remained a relentless adversary below. In this world dictated by the flicker of flames, ventilation shafts became conduits of not just air, but trust, draining the malevolent smoke away while ensuring that warmth stayed. Those below understood the symbolism. A hearth reflected not just physical proximity, but emotional and communal warmth. The very essence of home despite its otherwise stark, hidden environment. Light too was a commodity, its role vital as air or water. The lack of sunlight made every candle and lamp a precious guardian, casting their golden hues against the walls, dispelling fear and inviting warmth into the shadows. Each glow of a simple lamp transformed tunnels into pathways of exploration, revealing secrets while simultaneously shrouding others in mystery. Flames emerged as stewards of control, granting humans mastery over spaces ordinarily surrendered to unyielding darkness. Here, light was a proclamation, whispering stories and histories into existence with each flicker and sway. Sound, in contrast, reverberated through the underground with remarkable clarity. The stone walls turned every hushed word into a symphony, each echo playing a bewildering duet with silence. This acoustic landscape demanded discretion, yet boosted communal engagement, its eeriness enforcing a mutual respect for sound's potent influence. Solitude and communication formed a delicate balance, crafted by an instinctive understanding of the stone's embrace, a dynamic of both caution and opportunity amid these echoing depths. And then the flickering flame, a silent predator if left unchecked. Fire safety was a ritual of discipline, where architecture echoed this wisdom in its very bones. Damp stone, resistant surfaces, and strategic separations stood as sentinels warding against a devouring inferno, ensuring that devastation remained at bay. Such responsibility, instilled from youth, was the anchor, maintaining a dance of vigilance, where errant sparks were neither friend nor foe, but an understood balance. In these hidden cities, fire evolved into a metaphor for resilience and enlightenment. Rituals developed around it, marking communal events with flames that held memory and aspiration. Flames told stories, binding communities into a cohesive narrative where warmth was metaphorical and literal, weaving purpose into each gathered soul. A tapestry of existence deep within the rock's layered embrace. Even in shadow, illuminated truths resonated, ensuring the continuity of the human spirit beneath the earth's ancient dust. In the labyrinthine depths of Cappadocia's underground cities, the rock walls held more than mere shelters. They cradled spiritual sanctuaries that echoed with the whispered prayers of those seeking refuge from persecution and chaos above. These hidden chapels, meticulously carved from volcanic tuff, served not just as protective enclosures, but as sacred spaces where faith resisted the world's upheaval. The earthy hues of the stone formed a backdrop for altars and baptismal fonts, crafted with a devotion that transcended the gloom, reflecting an unyielding light within the darkness. Transitioning from surface churches to these subterranean sanctuaries was more than a necessity. It was a symbolic return to the roots of early Christian traditions, reminiscent of Rome's catacombs. Stripped of superficial grandeur, these underground places of worship offered a stark yet profound beauty. By candlelight, congregants gathered, their hymns resonating along the stone corridors, as carvings and icons silently guided their spiritual journey. Descending into these depths, believers left behind their worldly burdens, drawn closer to a spiritual realm where survival intertwined with transcendence. The imagery that adorned these chapels, carved crosses and biblical icons, revealed an enduring testament to faith. Every engraved symbol, from simple crosses to elaborate reliefs, communicated profound theological messages. These carvings illustrated more than devotion. They were acts of cultural resilience, affirming identity and hope amid existential uncertainty. Strategically placed, these symbols stood as visual beacons, guiding the spiritual journey of worshippers whose literacy may have been limited, thus bridging the gap between faith and understanding in a society anchored in oral tradition. Among the stone furnishings, baptismal fonts held particular significance. Crafted directly into the rock floor, they were ingeniously designed to capture rainfall or divert well water, ensuring that the rites of initiation could persist despite the underground constraints. Here, baptism became more than a ceremonial act. It was a communal reaffirmation of continuance and hope. Immersion into these stone fonts symbolically washed away the grime of a life forged in survival, offering believers a moment of renewal amidst enduring uncertainty. Byzantine influences echoed through these underground passages, where monastic life found a rhythm of introspection and scholarship. Monks versed in ascetic traditions withdrew into these carved sanctuaries, fostering quiet devotion and intellectual pursuits. Between the stone walls, manuscripts were transcribed, and theological ideas took root, creating a haven where the spiritual met the scholastic in a harmonious embrace. This blend of past sanctity with monastic resilience not only enriched Cappadocia's spiritual tapestry, but also fortified its historical legacy. Worship in these stone-hewn halls had a living, sonic dimension. Echoing hymns filled the vaulted spaces, amplified by the natural acoustics, transforming liturgical moments into immersive experiences. The chants and psalms resonated with such power that mere rituals transcended, uniting the gathered souls in a shared auditory embrace. This sound carried beyond the individual, weaving through stone corridors, a resonant thread of communal faith and continuity amidst silence. Not all spiritual pursuits were communal, as some cavernous enclaves catered to solitary devotion. Ascetics sought these quietude-rich caves to distance themselves from worldly distractions, pursuing deeper spiritual understanding. Within these secluded nooks they found their sanctuary, where silence mingled with prayer, inviting profound enlightenment amid austere surroundings. In these hermitages, one discovered the delicate interplay of endurance and faith, where spirituality transcended earthly bounds through contemplation. Complementing the carved symbols were frescoes and painted icons that added vibrant splashes of colour to the stone canvas. Artisans using limited pigments employed vivid scenes from biblical lore to illustrate narratives for the largely illiterate populace. These frescoes did more than decorate walls. They educated and invigorated the spiritual practices with a dynamic expression of faith and art. They transformed austere stone into a storytelling tapestry, bridging centuries with vivid depictions that captured the imagination and devotion of all who beheld them. Throughout turbulent eras, the sanctity of these chapels was zealously guarded by protectors whose vigilance preserved them from destruction and intrusion. These protectors, anonymous and resourceful, maintained a sacred secrecy necessary to sustain spiritual continuity. Their guardianship extended beyond safeguarding sacred spaces to embodying the resilience of faith, showcasing humanity's enduring capacity for dedication in the face of unseen perils. Through their efforts, these hidden havens transcended mere physical shelter, becoming enduring realms of spiritual legacy. Situated at the crossroads of civilizations, Cappadocia's chapels revealed an amalgamation of cultural and religious influences. These subterranean sanctuaries, shaped by diverse traditions, illustrated a historical narrative of tolerance and adaptability. The melding of symbols and practices not only fostered distinctive religious architecture, but also underscored an enduring inclusivity, granting insights into the confluence of faith's evolution. The enduring legacy of Cappadocia's underground chapels tells a story of survival, spirituality, and cultural fusion. Their rediscovery prompts reflection on the resilience of belief and the historical symbiosis of diverse traditions. As we explore these hidden sanctuaries, we unravel a narrative that challenges our understanding of human endurance and faith. As it echoes through the silent stones, whispering forgotten stories and inviting deeper contemplation of our shared past. In the soft twilight of the 11th century, a quiet transformation swept through the underground cities of Cappadocia. Lives once bustling in these rock-hewn labyrinths slowly transitioned to the surface, influenced by the stabilisation of above-ground settlements and the advent of advanced fortifications. The world outside was changing, with new fortresses casting long shadows over the land, promising protection that obviated the need for subterranean refuge. The threat of marauding invaders waned, political landscapes calmed, and with these shifts the underground cities surrendered to silence. Not abruptly, but with a gradual, resigned sigh. This retreat from captivating rock sanctuaries was bittersweet. Above ground, a newfound sense of security was tempered with the nostalgia of a deep-rooted world, carved beneath, where once the heartbeats of entire communities pulsed through stone corridors. These tunnels, eloquent in their silence, became monuments to human ingenuity and survival, leaving behind echoes of medieval life in their cold walls, resting quietly until the time came when stories of the past beckoned them back into the light. Their silent corridors were not wholly forgotten. Local folklore kept their memory alive, painting vivid pictures of these underground worlds through tales told by the firelight, where elders spoke of the old caves where people vanished like mist. These narratives, conveying hidden treasures and secret gatherings watched over by spectral guardians, wove into the cultural identity of those living above. As oral histories travelled down generations, these tales rooted not only a sense of place and belonging, but also a reverence for the resilience of those who came before. Even as they embellished the truth, these stories enshrined the ingenuity and courage required to thrive in such shadowed realms, enchanting listeners with the legends of enchanted cities awaiting rediscovery. The peace that settled over the land, once threatened by incessant invasions, allowed societies to flourish under open skies. With increased political stability, resources diverted from subterranean life were free to fuel the growth and fortification of above-ground communities. Prosperity and trade blossomed, diminishing the need for hidden refuges beneath the earth. Though the underground cities were respected for their historic value, they drifted into the past as relics of a time when survival demanded unprecedented ingenuity. As surface societies evolved, technological advancements reshaped priorities. Stone fortresses rose from the plains, redefining the landscape with their power and permanence. The strategic advantage once held by underground networks faded, replaced by the dominance above, where stone walls and strategic town planning offered security from both war and weather. These changes made the elaborate tunnel systems less essential, turning them into curious artifacts of human adaptation. Social transformations, too, nudged communities away from underground living. As desires grew for openness and connection, isolation beneath the surface gave way to burgeoning trade and cultural exchanges. Rich agricultural lands drew populations outward, encouraging permanent settlements where commerce could flourish. The earth, no longer a protective shroud, became a foundation for expansion, a platform for reaching toward the wider world. As centuries swept by, the hidden cities lay in wait, harbouring secrets buried within their depths. Archaeological forays have since unveiled the brilliance of those who once lived in these sanctuaries, with relics like pottery and carvings revealing intricate defence mechanisms and communal society spaces. These discoveries breathed life back into the stories passed down through oral tradition, enkindling a public fascination with the ancient civilizations that thrived in adversity. In the absence of written records, folklore becomes a bridge connecting myth and reality, embedding these cities into the fabric of collective memory. Tales of bravery and mysticism transform them into living characters within an eternal narrative, offering lessons about community resilience and human perseverance. These yarns inspire a curiosity and respect for ancient wisdom, urging modern listeners to cherish and understand their rich heritage. Today, the underground cities stand as a historical tapestry, luring visitors fascinated by their enigmatic allure. However, safeguarding these wonders is an ongoing challenge. Natural erosion, human interference, and the whims of climate change threaten their fragile structures, demanding a delicate balance between conservation and exploration. Preservation efforts weave together the interests of governments, archaeologists, and local communities, striving to protect these sites from decay while promoting sustainable tourism. A shared commitment to the silent cities hopes to maintain their captivating narratives for future generations, ensuring they continue to resonate with the ingenuity and resourcefulness imprinted in their stones. In their quiet persistence, the underground cities of Cappadocia extend lessons for our modern era, a testament to adaptability, innovation, and the necessary unity of people with their surroundings. As we confront contemporary challenges like climate change and global conflict, the enduring legacy of these civilizations recalls humanity's ability to transform adversity into opportunity. The tunnels, though silent, invite reflection and guide us towards solutions cultivated through collaboration and creativity. In reaching beneath the surface of history, we uncover wisdom and potential to navigate the present, echoing with aspirations of survival and progress forged deep within the earth. In the quiet village of Derinkuyu, a simple home renovation unravelled a piece of history in 1963. As one resident chipped away at his cellar wall, expecting nothing more than a dusty alcove, he found an entrance to a forgotten world that lay hidden beneath the earth, a sprawling network of tunnels and chambers carving deep into the rock. His discovery did not just open up a new section of his home, but unveiled a multi-level subterranean city that seemed straight out of ancient myths, stirring the curiosity of historians and adventurers alike. This newfound underworld, hitherto cloaked in silence, was a monumental revelation, breathing life into tales long whispered by locals and reviving interest in the world's ancient civilizations. As archaeologists descended into the shadows, the air seemed thick with whispers of the past. Each step downwards was a step back in time, echoing the rhythm of lives once lived under layers of dust and stone. These tunnels were not mere empty caverns. They were the diaries of civilizations where resilience and ingenuity danced under a constant shroud of darkness. Torchlight flickered across rock walls, etched with enigmatic reliefs, guiding explorers through corridors that twisted through a bygone era. Every newly uncovered chamber told a story. Kitchens still darkened by soot, communal halls echoing silent laughter, and chapels once alight with devotion, all urging explorers to ask what more these depths might reveal. The rediscovery posed haunting questions about the builders of these labyrinths. The scale and intricacy suggested a vision realised by people bound by a desire stronger than the stone they carved. Were they Phrygians or Persians, Hittites or early Christians, each with their reasons for burrowing so deep? The absence of definitive records leaves only the stones to bear witness to their creators' struggles. People who dared carve cities in the dark to evade perils above. These subterranean sanctuaries spoke of refuge, of creativity sparked by mania for survival. But why shun the surface? What drove communities to chisel their existence into the earth? The answers elude, embedded in rock, wrapped in legend. Beneath the rock-carved ceilings, the engineering feats achieved by these ancient societies continue to awe. Utilising the soft yet resilient volcanic tuff, they morphed natural caves into intricate cities. Ventilation shafts, defiant in their precision, drew fresh air into the depths, while deep wells tapped groundwater through stone-lined shafts, showcasing an understanding of sustainable living remarkable even today. The strategic layouts, narrowing corridors for defence and spacious halls for communal life, suggest a society rooted in both survival and sociality. Yet despite these remarkable achievements, much remains unknown. The hows and whys of their construction remain echoes in a symphony waiting to be uncovered. Walking through these tunnels, explorers sometimes stumbled upon intricately carved spaces hinting at spiritual purposes, where carved symbols in stone seem to whisper age-old rites and legends. Perhaps these spaces served as more than mere refuges, becoming sanctuaries where ancestral spirits were communed with, or where communities gathered to strengthen cultural ties amidst silent rock. Did they serve secretive rites passed through generations? Or were they neutral havens uniting fragmented clans? These questions hang suspended in time, like echoes in the tunnels, waiting for voices to give them life. Beneath the earth, society thrummed with its own rhythm. Fine social fabrics were unexpectedly woven through these corridors, straddling hierarchies with shared purpose. Far from chaotic refuge, these communities thrived under structured roles. Elders carried wisdom, spiritual figures guided faith, artisans sustained well-being. Even within darkness, they maintained a sophisticated system, mirroring humanity's instinct to build complex societies. But who led this hidden world? What rules governed their lives? These spectres of society remain layered whispers upon the dust of antiquity. Ultimately, though, the cities fell silent. The reasons remain as mysterious as the tunnels themselves. Perhaps shifting socio-political landscapes or environmental changes drew them back to the sunlit world. Or maybe advances in technology gradually obviated the need for such laborious subterranean efforts. Peace could have ushered them into the open once more. The thought of feeling sunlight may have seduced them back above ground, ending the chapter of a life hidden from day. The rock vaults stand now as mute witnesses, their halls long bereft of laughter and life. And yet the legends endure. Stories of mystical tunnels and sentient stones permeate the folklore of Cappadocia, spinning tales of ancient deities and secret societies that still captivate imaginations today. Each newly discovered entrance rekindles excitement, inviting modern-day explorers to tread where few have dared. As history intertwines with myth, these legends continue to echo across time, binding fact with fantasy in a narrative tapestry that never loses its allure. Today, equipped with advanced technologies, explorers eagerly follow these whispers into the depths, uncovering fresh secrets with every discovery. While tools change, the reverence and curiosity remain as steadfast companions. As more is learned about these ancient communities, the tunnels seem eager to share their stories, waiting for patient listeners to unlock their mysteries. As we stand on the cusp of history and legend, let us remain curious seekers in our exploration of humanity's past. If these stone walls could speak, their tales would resonate with the weight of ages long since slipped into shadow. For all the questions that remain, remember to like, subscribe and join us again as we continue our journey through time's tangled depths.